I say participants because this group really just needed a chauffeur, not a chaperone. The theme of our trip was storyline, hence the fabulous shirts. During the next few minutes, each of our trip members, Amy and Alexa and Emma, Reagan, Logan, and Cindy, we will share some highlights of our storyline experience. Upon arriving in St. Louis, all the YouthWorks participants were placed into groups for the week. Our Mount Olive team ended up in 2 different groups. I was part of the Cardinals group with Amy and Emma and 4 people from Baxter, Iowa. We had the pleasure of working with a private citizen for one of our accompaniment sessions. Nadine Rice is 79 years old and legally blind, but you would not know it. She has worked with YouthWorks for many years and takes pride in working with YouthWorks. I'm not really sure if we were there to help her or her to help us. She leads a life that is inclusive and walks closer to God's path than I know that I have to this point. She even invited herself to our next project for the day. Hopefully the tasks we performed for her, wringing towels and stacking bricks, were beneficial to her, because I know that we benefited in her wisdom and reminding us how patience and persistence can be rewarded. We got to see Nadine a couple more times during the week as she continued to strive to make real connections with people who are complete strangers. One of the big topics of discussion with YouthWorks during our trip was not just providing the help and programs you think others need, but asking first if they need assistance, and then what do they need. A prime example of this was our accompaniment session with LifeWise. They've been supporting the St. Louis community for over 120 years. Over their history, they have transitioned their programs to meet the needs of the community. Their current purpose is to provide life skills to individuals who are in need. These include financial training classes, daycare, English classes. They have a bodega with reduced cost clothing and supplies, food pantry, again with reduced costs, counseling for jobs and for school. Their goal is to work with people to help them be more self-sufficient. I want to express what a blessing it was to spend this week on the accompaniment trip, to witness the compassion, open hearts and minds of these young adults, their commitment to providing help with a smile in whatever was asked, and was a tremendous example of following God's path.
Hello, my name is Amy Neidholt. Tuesday night for one of our youth group's night activities, 2 women, Ellen Curry and Marquetta Wise, came in and talked to us about treating others fairly and including everybody, even when they are different from you, whether that be their skin color someone has or their personalities. One statement that stood out to me the most was, "How can you say you love God but you don't love all his children?" Later that evening, we read Luke 15, verses 11 through 32, the story of the prodigal son, which explains that the son took half the father's property and left the country. The son returned all broke, tired, and hungry. He was ashamed of himself. When the father saw his son walking on the street, he was filled with joy and didn't care how the son had left him, but that the son was there with him now. You can't judge a person on what they did in the past. Live in the moment and love them now.
Hello, my name is Reagan Fick. I'm going to tell you about an experience some of us did in St. Louis. It was called Campus Kitchen. Campus Kitchen is an organization at St. Louis University put together by students. These students realized how much food was going to waste and how much food could be saved and given to others. 40% of U.S. food is wasted each year, and 1 in 6 Americans don't know where their next meal is coming from. People want to help. Campus Kitchen takes almost expired, recently expired, or odd-looking food that no one would want to buy and uses it. They make any meal, side, and dessert they can with what food they have available. Our job at Campus Kitchen was to help make the food. This required a lot of chopping, cooking, and almost slicing ourselves. Everyone at Campus Kitchen helped in some way. Many kinds of food was made in the 2 days we were there, including chicken burgers, salads, stir-fry, potato dishes, fruity desserts, and much more. And there were a lot of dishes to do. But with everyone's help, we managed to get it done quickly. Some of us went with Melissa, the woman in charge, to deliver food. I was one who went with. We delivered food to a woman in a children's home first. We did not interact with the people, but it was sad to see so many in the home. We also went to a men's home, where homeless or drunk men may stay to have a new start. They can stay up to 2 years in this home, get 2 or 3 meals a day, and can use this home as their address so they can apply for a new job and start earning money to live on their own. The last place we stopped at was an immigrant center. Immigrants can come to this church or school and learn English and also do music or sports. We talked to the man who was in charge. He was really nice and was from India. He talked with us and was so thankful that we brought food to the people there. We didn't just deliver to these shelters, but we delivered to 2 different retirement apartments. On Monday we delivered 25 meals, and on Tuesday we delivered 100 meals. We boxed the food into styrofoam cartons and handed them out to certain people on a list. We went to each room, knocked, yelled "Campus Kitchen," and delivered their meals to them, and also a side salad if they chose. Some people were so kind and fun to talk to, and others not so much, but we were there to love and understand all of them because they may be going through some troubles. Jesus wants us to love and care for everyone, and we had to do so. One of our stories of the week was Jesus feeds 5,000. Many know the story of how the boy only had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but Jesus was able to multiply the food and feed 5,000 people. We are like that boy. We were given minimal ingredients to work with, but were able to create a good meal for over 125 people. John chapter 6, verses 12 through 14 say, "When they were satisfied, he told his disciples, 'Gather up the fragments left over so that nothing may be lost.' So they gathered them up, and from the fragments of the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten, they filled 12 baskets. When the people saw the sign that he had done, they began to say, 'This is indeed the prophet who has come into the world.' I've learned so much over that week, but I realized I have so much more than these people. I saw way too many homeless people and just wanted to help them all. St. Louis has many in need, and so do many others. One thing learned was that we need to be like Jesus and help everyone in need."
Hi, I'm Alexa. This is my oh my gosh, sorry. This is my perspective of being with the youth group. So when we were there, everybody seemed to be either really poor or really rich. I saw, like from a 30-minute car ride, I saw at least like 20 people on the road that seemed to be homeless and were holding signs. What stood out to me is that a lot of the people that were like in the youth works with us were giving out their lunches to homeless people that I really appreciated. And whether we were sitting outside for hours picking weeds at Jubilee World, or when we were delivering meals and seeing people's faces light up, I knew that I was there for a purpose, and I wanted to make people happy.
Hello, my name is Logan Waisner, and I'm here to talk about what my group did on Wednesday and Thursday. My group, which was me, Alexa, Reagan, and Cindy, Wednesday and Thursday we went to a place called Jubilee World, and we got to see an organization that is preparing a building for their future goals. Jubilee World is going to be a place that's going to teach kids about music, and so that they can enjoy God and Jesus through music. But right now, the building's not in condition for people to stay there and learn right now, because I don't know how long ago, but the building used to be an orphanage, and now it's fairly run down. So we went and we did what they wanted us to do to help get the building ready, and our group weeded, and we had a really good time weeding. We got a we got to bond with the other people in our group. Our group was also with other people from Baxter, Iowa, because Baxter had a very large group of people there. But we got to know the students from Baxter, Iowa a lot better. We watched one person eat a worm. We played Pictionary during lunch, and we had a great time, and I hope we really helped out Jubilee World in a way that that they needed it. We also got to see one of their employees' musical ability. His name is Xavier, and he was our guide. He gave us a tour of the place, and he was instructing us with what we were supposed to do for the weekend. And at the end, one of the people in our group played piano while Xavier sang for us, and it was really nice. My verse that I'm connecting into was it was our Monday one. It was John chapter 4, verses 1 through 42 with the Samaritan woman. The Samaritan woman Jesus came to her and told her her life, so she believed that he was Jesus, and then she went and told his story to the rest of the village, and they came and believed, and that's sort of what Jubilee World is doing. They're sharing the love of music and love of God through music with the rest of the people that will encounter Jubilee World. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emma, and on Thursday night we attended this community cookout. I'm not exactly sure, but I think everybody was allowed to come. And I remember the first thing that happened when we got there was that kids just kind of came up and jumped on you and held your hand and, treated us as if we've known them forever. And I thought that was a really cool thing because I felt like it really connected us to the community right away. And not too long after we first got there, we started the backpack distribution. It was this truck filled full of backpacks filled with school supplies that were donated. And each of these kids got a backpack that they could just take. And it was actually really cute because some of these kids were really small and they were running around with these little big backpacks. And when it was time to eat, there were so many options. And the best part was that everyone who needed to be fed got fed, so no one went home hungry. And some people even went through the line 2 or 3 times. And when it was time to stop eating and everything, we started auctioning off the food just to the community members, whoever needed it. And so when all the food was gone and everything was cleaned up, it was time to go back to the housing location. And our work group hopped in the car, but not too long after, we were flash mobbed by a couple of these kids who made up a Wisconsin song. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. I'm never going to forget that. And it was my first time really encountering the people that we were helping. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
Good morning. My name is Cindy Doberke, and as you can see, this is such a hardship to have to go to St. Louis with these guys. They are so amazing. To be able for me to accompany them and all those we encountered was a tremendous gift. You really can't explain it unless you participate in it. I've written a lot of stuff down here, but I think they have said it all. And again, thank you, Mount Olive, for allowing us to make this trip and for supporting us on it, for bringing backpack supplies that we can take to St. Louis and then see that those faces light up when they receive them. It's just a tremendous gift. So thank you.